like, well, I've had these experiences. I led the franchise. I have an action figure, you know?
Yeah, you just showed me on your camera.
And
yeah.
I do. I got 1,500 of these in boxes, you know?
Pay attention. Creepy weirdo.
I would like a strong, powerful woman to protect me.
He'll fight for America.
Hip, Poopy Square.
The Playable Characters Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to level 191 of Playable Characters Podcast. My name is Brian McGinnis, and I'm your host. I'm in the closet still, everybody. I've been here since March. They will not let me out. The podcast gods have said, you stay in that closet, and you keep producing this amazing content. People, 200, I'm quitting. I'm just kidding. I may or may not. I don't know. We'll see what happens, everybody. I love you all for listening. You know that. It's the best. It's the funnest show in the world. And couldn't do without you guys knowing that you listen each week. That's what we're all about here. What else is going on, people? I don't even know. Oh, please check out my Brian Reviews All the Turtles stupid show that I've been doing on YouTube and Instagram. I only have like 10 left out of my 120 fucking action figures. I'm almost done. It's ruined me, but it kept me busy during quarantine, that's for sure. So check it out. It's called Brian Reviews All the Turtles. It's on YouTube, Instagram, @LaughAtBrian is my Instagram, and Twitter also. You can check them out there. It's very stupid and fun, and they're only like a minute long each. And I've had like a breakdown the last couple episodes because the figures are ridiculous. But other than that, follow us at Playable Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And people, let's dive in today. Holy cow. Like, we've only had one other person, or I guess thing, from this universe. We had a droid on a long time ago, a droid from Battlefront, back in the 60s or 80s, I forget. Not years, the number of episodes. It feels like I've been doing this since the 80s. We had a droid on, and he was very fun to chat with. But here we have one of the stars of from the biggest franchises of all time.
From a galaxy far, far away.
Here he is. Dash Rendar, everybody. How are you, sir?
Hey, buddy. Hey, Brian. How are you? It's great. Now, what are we just waiting for Calvin to drop in, or how's that work? Is he going to join the Zoom? Is that how? I've been listening. I love you guys. Your patter's so good.
Thanks. Calvin's busy. Calvin's been busy in the past since April.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. Of course, everybody knows my star turn. Nintendo 64, Shadows of the Empire. That's right. The future of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Finally getting the podcast circuit after all these years. You know, Disney bought us, and then they, So it's exciting.
That's a good thing. Disney buys. We're hoping Disney buys us. I say us, but I mean me.
Hey, fingers crossed. You know, that'll be cool. You know.
Yeah.
Then what happens? You have all the Kingdom Hearts characters on one by one.
God, that would take forever.
That's cool. Chicken Little, Zach Braff comes into the closet and you talk to him for a while.
I would like nothing more than to sit with Zach Braff in my closet and chat.
Just ask him about Florence. You're like, she's okay with the age difference, really? Okay.
Is that his wife? How old is she?
He's dating Florence Pugh. Now I don't know about you guys.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, from Little Women.
Okay, yeah. Well,
he's
hey,
like 23, and he's
he's amazing.
He's old. He's great, but he's old.
He looks young. He's like a Paul Rudd kind of.
Sure, he looks young, so it's fine. That's not how it works.
You're right.
Golly, it's great to laugh. That's what I say. It's good to laugh.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be honest. You or your people got in touch with us. You said, "Hey, Dash should be on your show." I wasn't too familiar with your game. But obviously, once I looked it up and started looking at the footage, I was like, now I know who this guy is.
Well, it's fantastic. And the reason, thank you so much for having me on. The reason I wanted to come on is because here's the deal. Yeah. Disney, they bought Star Wars a number of years ago, and then they gave us these films. The Force woke up, and the Jedi was last, and all that stuff. The Skywalker rose. But the thing is that they did this crazy thing where they decided to put a lot of the stuff in a canon, right?
Okay.
But then a lot of the stuff they didn't. A lot of the stuff they call it legend. So they call me a legend. That's great. Cool. Hey, you're a legend, but now you're not real, And I'm like, well, I've had these experiences. I led the franchise. I have an action figure,
Yeah, you just showed me on your camera.
And I do. I got 1,500 of these in boxes, You might hear, by the way, I got my trusty droid Lebo's bouncing around here in the ship, and he's making noises. So if you hear that, just
totally fine. Yeah. Is he okay?
I don't want to ruin the quality. How are you?
Wait, so why do you have so many of your own action figure?
Oh, because I'm trying to sell them on the black market. Because you see, what happens when Disney bought over, they made a deal with Hasbro, and you get the Star Wars Legends toys. But they're not putting out these Legends toys, you know. So I got these goddamn Shadows of the Empire toys from '93. The Prince Zizor one. When you open it out of the package, it's sticky. How is something sticky? It was put in the package 25 years ago.
And so, is that a goof? Did somebody put something in before they sealed it?
Yeah, like, oh, I'm gonna put some gum in here, and in 25 years, some nerd collector's gonna be PO'd. And so I bought a bunch of them. I got to sell them on eBay. I got a little eBay store. So I'm trying to get my face out there, you know, because I want them to bring me in, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, a bunch is, I mean, you have 1,500. It's more than a bunch.
1,500? Yeah, it's quite a bit.
That's a lot.
Quite a bit. You can buy a lot if you want on eBay. You can buy a lot. I mean, you could buy a lot, but I mean, you can buy a lot of my Dash Rendar figures.
I got. So
I'll give you a deal.
You're selling them in full. Are you selling them like the whole?
George, bulk.
Okay. Good luck with that. If anybody wants to buy them, where can they find your store? Just on eBay? What's there? Do you have like a store name in the eBay, or just search for Dash Rendar?
Just type Dash Rendar into eBay, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it. It's the one that's selling 1,500 action figures in one lot. Yeah,
I've seen people do that sometimes. It's like, hey, here's 37 Donatellos.
Yeah. There's a shop now. We all talk about, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. You know, I ain't trying to put on airs here. You know, I had my heyday, the late '90s. I was on an N64 game.
Yeah,
I was banging around with Han and Leia. You know, I watched Prince Zizor almost fuck Leia. Nobody talks about that. He almost fucked her. He mind controlled her into thinking she was hot. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Han's in the carbonite the whole time. She's off trying to get fingered by this weird alien. And you know, I had my day. Me and Luke were hanging out. A lot of Bothans died on that mission, but we got the Death Star 2 plans, you know, or so they say in the Legends. Who knows what J.J. Abrams going to say, how the story went, you know? But,
I mean, look, we can't blame Leia for trying to find somebody else when Han's in carbonite like a dick. You know?
Right? Imagine you got this whole history, and then Rian Johnson comes in and is like, "Nah, actually, that guy didn't live." What? Excuse me? You know? But so now times are tough, you know, and I moved to New York and I temp in an office.
Really?
And, I mean, it's fine. But there's this toy. The reason I'm talking about this, the reason I bring this up is we were talking about the eBay. Yeah. There's this toy store near my office where I temp, of course. And they have literally like 60 what's his name? Andor, the guy from Rogue One. Right? Did you see the Rogue One film? Fantastic film. One of the
I didn't see the last like 8 Star Wars films. I'm a little behind.
Oh, the new ones, 3 of them are pretty not great, but one of them's real good called Rogue One.
Okay.
And boy, if anybody could have been in that movie, Dash could have been in that
movie.
Dash
should have been in that. I mean, your name.
Time-wise, he would have been a little boy, but I could have done it. De-age me, you know, like Robert De Niro in The Irishman. But anyways, they got so many of these Cassian Andor toys. Like, what happened? Who dropped a truck of Cassian Andor toys off in front of this weird toy store in Manhattan, you know?
Whenever I go to, I like to go to old collectible toy stores, or at least I used to when the world was normal. Again, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but the Star Wars section is always enormous in these collectible Star Wars toys. I'll keep an eye out for some of your toys next time.
Oh, please, yeah. And remember, you don't need that Prince Zizor toy. He's an asshole. No. He's dead. I killed his ass. Yeah. But also, he sucks, and his toy has something sticky in it, and it's not cool to open something that was packaged over 25 years ago, and it's still sticky.
I can't imagine if someone has an original Moss Man from He-Man still in the package.
Oh, gross, stinky, stinky. That's what I'd say. You know.
So, why do you think you're not more like, I guess, canon, as we say? Do you know the Force, by the way? You don't know the Force, right?
Oh, fuck no, man. I know 2 things. I know smuggling, and I know how to watch Sizor, you know, just creep up on Leia a little bit, you know?
Okay. You wish you knew the Force, right? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I am. I mean, may the Force be with you, right?
And also with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I know I'm not Force powerful. I think what it is so I grew up on Corelli, you know, same as Han, you know. Golly, did you watch that Han? You say you didn't see the movies.
I didn't see the Han one.
Han got his own movie. Yeah. Some other motherfucker doesn't look anything like him. I don't know who this guy is. Aaron Elcork or whatever the hell.
He's very knowledgeable of this stuff.
I don't know who he is, but it's bad. But another easy Dash could have walked right in there with Daenerys Targaryen. You know, we could have got along.
Right.
But she's in it. She's fantastic. Oh, that character's good. But Han, snooze. But I could have been in there hanging out. That's where I'm from. You know, we're from the same planet. And I think
At least a cameo, something.
Something.
You know?
Just walking around in the back, so all the nerds make a YouTube. Looper makes a YouTube video that's like, hey, look at him. But
are you on Cameo, by the way? You should be on Cameo selling your birthday greetings for
I don't know what it is, but I'm getting on it tonight. I'm going to talk to my people. And by my people, of course, you do know I mean my droid Lebo, who's bouncing around and also occasionally making a barking sound, which is unsatisfying. But yeah, I think so. I have we do checks every once in a while, and currently I am canon to an extent.
Okay.
Where I'm mentioned in a random comic. Han's telling a story about being on Corelli, and he mentions Dash Rendar, which is great, right?
Nice.
You feel valid in it. You know, it's
sure.
like I did this and I'm getting some credit. And then the fucking asshole that wrote that comic, tweeted out, hey, everybody's thinking it's great that I brought Dash into canon. I did it as a joke because he was just a ripoff of Han Solo.
Oh,
hey, buddy, get out of here, man.
Oh man,
I'm just a dude trying to make my way, you know?
Wow, that's I mean,
Yeah.
so what's the history between you and Han? Do you know Han? Have you guys smuggled together?
Sure.
Do you hate each other? What's going on there?
No, we go way back. We've always been friendly. We always said hello, you know? I mean, of course, he had a spoiler to 7 years ago. He had a demise on a Starkiller base. It was real sad. I was there when him and Leia went out, you know, when they fell apart. I was there when his boy got all pissy and bought a helmet. And
who's that?
Ben.
Ben?
Ben, his son, Ben, who became Kylo Ren. Get it?
Oh,
Kylo Ren, Kylo Ben.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's, I think, how they named him. But so Han and I were always friends. You know, Chewbacca and I, we go way back.
Oh, I was going to ask you about him. Yeah, he's fun,
Chewbacca
right?
was the brains back in the day. Now, I don't know what it was like. You know, like I don't know what it was like in a lot of the years after that when they started smuggling again and stuff, when J.J. Abrams got his grubby fingers on it. But back in the day, Chewbacca was in charge way more. I mean, Chewbacca's old. People forget that. But Chewbacca is like old.
Chewbacca
was in the Clone Wars.
He was in the Christmas special in 1978.
That's right. And that was right after you had your first droid on. I heard you guys had a droid on the show in the 60s. So that's fantastic.
That was one of the worst things ever made, that Christmas special.
Yeah, I've watched it. Have you seen this new Lego Star Wars Christmas special? It's on Disney Plus.
No, is it good?
It's pretty good. You know what would have been better? Throw a little Dash in there. You know? Give me a little block character.
A dash of Dash.
Thank you. That's my new.
Maybe on the Food Network even.
Do you guys think you could talk to your producers, see if I can get a podcast going? Dash on Dash.
Anybody can do a podcast.
It's
literally.
just me talking to Stacey Dash about what the fuck happened to her brain. How she went from being the cool girl and clueless to being a fucking nutbag.
Seriously, what happened to this good old Stacey Dash?
I love pop culture. People don't talk about that as much.
It seems like it.
Yeah, because a lot of Star Wars, they're very rigid. George, I respect the hell out of George, but George had
Lucas or Harrison.
Lucas.
Okay.
I don't talk about George Harrison not much. Not a big Beatles fan. Although pretty ironic, when he's alone on stage with his guitar, that's Harrison playing solo. And then you get Empire Strikes Back. That's also Harrison playing solo.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's fun. But George was very strict about what you couldn't talk about, and I get it. You don't want to see fucking Luke Skywalker walking down the street talking about his favorite Duran Duran album, right? Like that's weird.
Yeah.
And but now that time's gone on, and obviously people aren't paying attention to what Dash is up to. Hell, I'll say it. You know, I watch your YouTube videos, man. I watch your turtle videos.
Yeah, thanks.
I gotta say, maybe it might be a little better to drop those, sparse them out a little bit more instead of doing a lump dump of 18 in a row, and then my subscriptions is fucked.
You might be right. I'm sorry. Thank you for.
I'm just saying it's fun, but I like to watch things. Here you go. Here's the next one, and then good. I'm gonna hear him talk about the Ray Manta Ray for a half hour.
It's only 2 minutes. I only did 5 this week, so.
Thank God.
I futurely took your advice.
It's fantastic. It's great. It's a very fun show. I really like it. I like the Ninja Turtles. They're great.
Who doesn't?
They're like us if we took place in modern day.
I feel like Dash could. Okay, this is not an insult. Is that your real name, Dash?
Yeah. What the fuck do you mean by that? Wait, isn't it weird how our names are in this universe? There's a galaxy far, far away. Because there's like Dash, right? And then there's like Mon Mothma, you know? But then there's a guy named Luke, right?
Yeah, it looks like a country singer.
That's super weird. You know? There's a guy named Kanan, but then there's also a guy named Ezra. Ezra's just like your grandpa, right? Like that's crazy. Rebels, great cartoon series. Throw Dash in there. Everyone else is in it. Boba's in it.
Boba Fett? He was in your game, right? I think.
Fuck that guy, man. I beat his ass. He's a bad guy. Write it down. Google it.
Yeah.
Ask anybody. What's
Okay.
Boba Fett? A bad guy.
He looks like, and he seems like it. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think people just like him so much they kind of look the other way, so like Zach Braff.
He looks cool,
like Zach Braff.
Yeah, very much like Zach Braff.
We look the other way.
Zach Braff is the Boba Fett of our generation. I'll say that. Boba, we fought. We had a fight on that planet.
Yeah.
I don't even the Gulf spaceport. We're shooting each other. I got my jetpack. He's got his jetpack. I get him. I kill him. Guess what he does?
What?
He gets enslaved one and then tries to kill me. Ship versus person. That's not fair.
That's not fair at all.
No,
I mean,
that's the same shit his dad Django pulled against Obi-Wan.
I mean, if you want to win, it's a way to do it.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's like, why don't you just run me over with your car, buddy? You know, it's like challenging someone to a fist fight and then you run him over with your car. It's not fair.
What was that
and
like?
Now he's a hero. Boba's a star. He's in the Mandalorian, prestige television.
Is that him? Is that him? He's the main guy? Okay.
No. He's not. But he's in it.
He's in it.
He's back. Last we saw him, he got ate by that Sarlacc, and I was like, good.
Right.
Good. Swallow that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Instead, he's back.
What did it feel like for you to get a jetpack? Because I would love a jetpack.
I'm good with the jetpack. I'm good with it. I use it in the city. Yeah, especially during the pandemic because I don't want to take the trains. So I go from my place. I live out in Brooklyn, and I take my jetpack and I just shoot right to my temp job down there in Manhattan.
I would be worried. Like, you charge it? Is it gasoline? Like, what is it? I would just be worried mid-flight that I would just fall to the ground.
It's just one of those things. I don't know. It works. It's just like how you ever see Boba Fett's backpack jet thing?
Yeah.
Or rocket?
Right.
He shoots that thing, and then it goes away and explodes. And then like a half hour later, he's got another one. It's like, wait, where'd you reload, brother? Well, you're not dragging a bag full of huge rockets with you. What's happening here?
Like a 3D printer in there or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You ever have one of those, a 3D printer?
I've used it, but I don't have one.
I've been thinking about getting another one, trying to make some more of these Dash Rendar toys. My own brand, stamp dash.com on the bottom,
I think when they first came out, I remember going to a place that had the 3D printers, and it took about 17 hours to make like a square.
Yeah.
Like a 1 inch by 1 inch square.
Yeah, a buddy of mine used to work on spaceships, and he was in aerospace engineering college at Texas A&M University, and he one of their projects. This is years back. This is the early 2000s. Right after my heyday.
Sure.
And
do you call them spaceships too? Even in space, you call them spaceships?
They were spaceships. Yeah.
It's like Chinese,
we're blurring the lines.
It's like Chinese people call it Chinese food. I don't know. It's like one of those things.
Yeah. One of their projects in aerospace engineering school was they gave him the engine to a spaceship, and there was a missing part, and they're like, "Hey, go use that plastic printer to make that part and make it work."
Really?
And he had to do that, and that was like,
on a
15
spaceship.
years ago.
Yeah.
And nowadays, people use them to make like Etsy shit. It's like, that's crazy to me.
NASA and Jill across the street uses it. So, in your game, I think you have to help Luke save Leia again.
I do a lot in this game. Now it's my game.
It is your game. You are the star. No one's going to take that from you.
I'm on Hoth at the beginning, and I'm watching the battles and stuff like that, and then the escape from the Echo Base is one of the most exhilarating things I've ever done. I see a goddamn Wampa Stompa, whatever those things are called.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And I fight an ATST. I fight 2 ATSTs in the matter of this game
with just your blaster, right?
Yeah, just a blaster, and I got a rocket, but I don't ever really use my jetpack other than in that one spot, which is kind of weird,
Yeah.
And if you look at my toy, you might think I have this cool big rocket gun that sits on my back, but that wasn't real. They messed up when they made the toy.
Sorry.
But yeah, I do that, and also a lot of flying missions, which is exciting because my ship, the Outrider, is really fun, and it's people say it's a ripoff of the Millennium Falcon. It's not. What can it do the Kessel Run in? I don't fucking care.
Who cares, right? It's like, get over it.
It's a fast ship. You need to get there. It gets you there 1 to 2.
It's like the 4-minute mile. It's been done. Okay, move on.
Right. It's got a thing that goes woo, and it can go to the Doctor Who universe.
Can you do warp? Can you do warp speed or light speed?
Yeah. We don't call it warp speed. That'd be pretty fucked up if we started adapting that.
All right. Wait. Yeah, that's the other. That's the other show. So you know what? Enough said. You could do light speed, right?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, is that your comp?
My Tim job was calling. Sorry. I told them I'm supposed to be at work. I told them I was taking a break, but I'm really ducking out to do this podcast.
Now, are they like impressed that They have like are they impressed? They have like a star or like a smuggler mark?
They don't know who the fuck
they don't know your history? No.
No, they're like, Dash, that's a dumb name. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't say stuff like that.
I didn't say it was, no, I was just, yes, it was your real name. It's a cool bounty hunter smuggler
name. Very
name.
Cool name. It's a very great smuggler name. And I'm also a mercenary. A lot of people don't talk about that. I used to kill a lot of people.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I mean, bad people.
Of course.
Mostly. A lot of Bothans died when we were trying to get the Death Star 2 plans, though.
Yeah. Is there a second Death Star? There's like 3, isn't there?
Where have you been? You're just looking at the turtle toys, aren't you?
One blew up, and they built another one pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
the one.
Death Star.
Okay, so I don't know if there was another one.
No. Well, I mean, if you ask J.J. Abrams, might be.
It might be like
then
3.
They made Starkiller Base. Apparently, everything's a Death Star now.
See, there you go. See, that's what I meant.
But the second Death Star is there's a film called Return of the Jedi. It came out in '82.
I remember that one.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And in that one, that Death Star.
That's the new one.
That's the one. That's the second Death Star, and that's the one that me and Luke had to go with the help of a lot of Bothans who died. Yeah. We got the plans to help destroy that fucker.
Well, that's you know what? Thank you for that. You probably saved the universe.
Yeah, I was there. I was part of the things, And there's a lot of people who I'm not saying this. There's a lot of people who didn't make it into canon, right?
Right.
Darth Bane, Darth Plagueis, all these people. I mean, the old Knights of the Old Republic. Thousands of years of history is just gone, right? But then they keep bringing the dumbest people in. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating.
I think, a lot of times people who've had a game in the past and haven't since come on the show, they get some buzz, and then stuff happens. So we hope you can be in the next one, maybe even a DLC character or something in the next Star Wars game. You should be. You're fun. I mean, I'm not asking to be the star of Ryan Johnson's trilogy that is going to be made. I'm not asking for that. What I'm asking for is just acknowledge me so the checks start coming again, Gotta get those checks.
Yeah. And also then, beggars can't be choosers, Beggars Canyon, back on Tatooine, though, me and Luke riding the speeder bikes. That was the thing that happened.
Those things seem fun. Are they dangerous?
Fun. Oh, yeah. A lot of it's so fun. All you got to do is really just bump one.
Even
those.
Yeah, even the guys that are trained specifically just to ride those are constantly crashing.
And what's fun is, I don't know if you know this story, but the speeder bikes back in the I would say probably 3 years BBY.
What's BBY?
Before the Battle of Yavin. That's how we track time.
I say before Baby Yoda. I'm sorry.
That's pretty fun. Well, I bet it's about 7 years BBY then. But Grogu.
Grogu, what do they want to call him now?
He's so good.
It's hard to call him that. Is it still Baby Yoda, right?
Well, I mean, it's our universe. I'm surprised his name wasn't Jeff. It's either going to be Grogu or Jeff, right? Mikey. Hey, look, there's Mikey over there.
Is Mikey the fucking alien?
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. It's like a really good Saturday Night Live sketch. Mikey the alien.
That's fun. Ray is the name, and guess what? There's not just Ray from the films, of course. There's also Ray from the books that set up the films. So that's smart. Let's have two characters named Ray at the exact same goddamn time.
Oh, they're different people?
Yeah, there's a Ray that's like a leader of the First Order.
I don't know. All I know is Ray Fillet from Ninja Turtles.
Well, yeah, and you're going to talk about it for 5 minutes and drop 19 videos while you're doing it.
Have you met Jabba? Have you met Jabba the Hutt? Jabba the Hutt? He seems like a piece of shit.
I know. I've worked with Jabba, worked against Jabba. Jabba's, he's dead.
Right.
Leia
choked him out like a UFC fight.
Yeah. And the whole time he's killing her, all I'm thinking about is, why doesn't anybody talk about how Prince Caesar almost fucked her? And Han has no idea. He's in carbonite. She's off trying to make out with a weird green alien.
What did he do? So he mind controlled her, you're saying?
Yeah.
And tried to get her to...
It was like a weird... It was confusing because it wasn't the Force, but it felt like a very Force-like power. But yeah, he mind controlled her to kind of fall for him. And I had to get in there and knock it off. Knock it off. That's what I could say.
Cut it out. Snap out of it.
And then Luke did some stuff with his laser sword, and we got out of there.
Laser sword.
Yeah, that's what I call them. But the thing I was going to mention about the speeder bikes is back 5 years before BBY or so, maybe 7 before BBY. an interesting thing was happening. They were making those for the Empire was making those, right? They were making these speeder bikes, and a bunch of rebels broke into the factory. They infiltrated the factory, and they started putting these like kind of like restrictor, like whatever those called, alternator restrictors.
Sure.
So that if they went over 80 miles per hour, they exploded.
Oh.
So then these stormtroopers, these dolts in their white suits, are riding on those trying to get some rebel. They hit 80 miles per hour. They
Look
explode.
at that. That's great.
Which is great. Except for every once in a while, I need to ride one of those, and every once in a while, I'm like, wait a minute, is this one of those ones that's going to explode?
Let's keep it at 75. Keep it at 75.
I said the cruise at 75, and then I just head to my Tim job, you know?
So it's not really a speeder bike. It's more like a moseying bike at that point.
Well, 75 is pretty goddamn fast.
Well, not for a speeder bike. Speeder bike's like 200 miles an hour, I feel like.
Well, sure, but I'm on the BQE.
Okay.
Right?
You can't hit 75 on that road.
All right.
Maybe
maybe in the middle of the night. Oh, that's a dream.
For those not in New York, it's the Brooklyn Queens Expressway. Very
Is that what it stands for?
I think so.
Ah, that sounds good. Harry Chapin died on it. You know that?
No, for a lot of people have.
Yeah, the singer of Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Ah, yeah. Little Boy Blue.
Died in a car accident on the BQE.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Which actually sounds a lot like the name of a Terry Chapin song. Died in a car accident on the BQE.
Died in a car on the BQE.
Exactly. It's a very niche reference, but look it up, and you're right. He's got a song called 10,000 Pounds of Bananas or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You know a lot of stuff.
I know a lot of stuff, man. Yeah, I just waited for those checks to come in.
What did you attempt at? There's a lot of Googling involved, a lot of just like surfing the web, I guess.
No, I actually, you're going to love this. I work for Star Trek. Yeah. That's my tip job. I sit in an office, and people who have problems with the mobile games, there's these Star Trek mobile games, and then they call me and they're like, data's not working right. And I'm like, okay.
Wow. Is that like, maybe that's why you're not in the movies. Maybe you went to the dark side, I guess.
Oh, they don't know that. This is all under the table, man.
Disney knows everything. Disney knows everything.
I'll tell you this. This is what I always say on my first day. I say, hey, I fought IG-88 in the Ord Mantell junkyard. I'm not filling out no I-9. That's what I tell them.
Does it work?
I mean, I do. Yeah, they just Venmo me.
Jeez. Yeah. Wow. I think your game was at the time revolutionary. It's
hailed as a classic.
It's criticized a lot, but also people like it. So people like it. I think they wanted so much more out of it because it's obviously, but it was one of the first N64, which is, the technology wasn't great. If you look back, it's not that good.
If they would have had the extra year,
sure,
it would have been on the same. It would have been looked at the way the GoldenEye's looked at.
Did you guys use your Rumble pack?
I mean, there you can use that Rumble pack for sure already in it. But I mean, how else are you gonna feel that jetpack when you're in the Gull spaceport, right? That is an issue. It came out too early. If it would have had another year, it would be looked at as a hero forever. And everybody that worked on it, all of our teams, all the creators, the animators, the stuff, they all admit this now, is that they did too much. They tried to make a flying game. They tried to make a first-person shooter, and they tried to do like a almost like an MMORPG or
something like MMORPG,
MMPorg, whatever those are.
Yeah.
And that suffered it, but those levels that kick ass.
They sure do. Now, do you since you're from that era, do you know Mario 64? Do you know the Wipeout guys? You know Banjo Kazooie or whoever.
Did you ask me if I know the White Power guys?
Wipeout, the car game.
Oh, Wipeout, sure, yes.
Very popular N64.
Yes, I do know the Wipeout guys. Yeah, I do. I know all those guys. I love the N64. Cool. We had a good crew. Mario was hilarious, and he knew everything. Mario's the guy that you go to when you're like, when you're at your family reunion and you got your old ass uncle who's like just like a piss and vinegar. You can go up to him and be like, hey, where's the best place to smoke weed in this house? He'll know.
He knows.
That's what Mario was. Mario was the guy you're like, hey, my tax attorney's trying to take too much money. What do I do? And Mario could tell you, or could point you in the right direction, because he'd been in the game for 25 years at that point.
He won't come on the show. He's a real piece of shit to us.
Yeah?
We're trying, but...
golly, geez. Whatever it was. Have you had Luigi on?
Yeah.
That guy's a weird guy, huh?
He was weird. It was fun.
The internet loves him. That's weird.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the internet grab me, huh? Why can't everybody have a bunch of...
This is going to help. I really think it will.
Hog Dash Rendar deviant art going around. Wouldn't that be great,
I mean, I would watch, I would play anything you're in now. This is,
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like...
But I do. I love all those, the Star Fox guys. We really got along. We fly. I mean, we love to fly, and so we would go around. Of course, me and the Outrider, and them in their what are they called? Their Y wings. That can't be right.
X-wing. You close.
No, X-wing is Star Wars. I can't imagine that Star Fox also has an X-wing.
It is, I think. Yeah.
Wild. But yeah, I liked Fox. I liked Slappy, of course. That silly little guy.
Peppy hair.
A bit of a butthole.
Right.
We can all agree on that. Have you had him on the show?
We had Peppy on.
Peppy's
great. Very old, but he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
You know what? Hold on. It might be called an R-wing.
R-wing. That
or
feels
something
better.
else. I don't know.
I'll ask Lebo, and then he'll get back to me in goddamn 2 days.
Do the droids suck? Like, what's your relationship with them? Did you like? Are you assigned the droid, or what's going on there?
When you're young, you don't understand what rights of people are, and what rights of anything is. Sure. So you go by a droid, and you're like, "This is my slave. He does all my shit, and sometimes I fuck it." And then when you get older, your brain evolves. You start seeing more of the universe, and you're like, "Oh, this is a human with rights. This is maybe not a human, but this is a sentient being with rights." And so then you start apologizing a lot. And then you become friends, and you're like, listen, if you want to get the fuck out of here, you can. And Lebo left for a few years, had his adventures, but then he ended up coming back, and now we're just buddies. We're more like roommates. We have a 1-bedroom in Guanas, and it's nice, he just powers down at the end of the night, and I sleep on the couch, and it's fantastic.
Now, you said when you were younger, you fucked your droid.
Wait. Yeah, well, you fuck around. You put your stuff in anything at the time,
What age are we talking about here?
I'm talking about having sex with my droid. What are you talking about, buddy?
What age?
Oh, I'm talking about like in my early 20s. I'm not talking about.
Oh, okay.
When I'm 4. This isn't becoming like a weird thing.
Okay.
I was at 4 banging a droid. Nobody's liking that.
I'm sure somebody has. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, in your early 20s, you make mistakes, and then you realize, oh, maybe I should treat these things a little better. And then you do, and then you kind of form a friendship that you never knew, and then you all of a sudden share a rent and make sure that your Optimum bill gets paid on time.
That's very nice. Can he just like print money? Seems like he'd be able to do that, like forge it.
I mean, probably, but you don't know Lebo. He ain't C-3PO over here, He ain't a R2-D2.
Oh, okay. So there's different levels of droids. It's just like humans. There are dumb and smart humans.
Yeah, he's a repair droid, and so what he does basically is IT. And so he's doing like whereas I'm trying to tell people how to get through levels of this video game that I'm like, you could just go to YouTube and watch a video, buddy, but they still call me. He's like helping people like fix their modems and stuff like that. That's his day job, and he makes more than I do, so I can't say nothing.
Why do droids need a job? I didn't know that.
Because we have to share rent, pay Optimum, buddy.
Okay.
We're in the same world as you are, man. I ain't one of the Cosbys. I ain't go to Hilton.
You ever think of just maybe getting back up there in space and doing some smuggling?
I fly. Well, yeah, but it's harder now. They got all these restrictions. I don't know if you've heard of this Trump guy, but he really hurt I mean, we know all the things he hurt, but he also really hurt anybody's wanting to deal with our systems. So I could pack up our shit, throw it in the Outrider, and go off into
you have a lot of boxes of your
a galaxy far away and go try to start some shit again. But it's right now. It's just easy to be here. This is where Hollywood is. In New York, there's a lot of auditions I can still take, and see what happens. Hopefully, like I said, Star Wars is hot.
It is always. It hasn't cooled down at all.
No. So like now's a good time to try to be around all this stuff. Just saving face.
Yeah.
Making face.
We hope it works. I mean,
we all do.
I think you should. It would be really cool if you got back out there.
I would do. And you know what? Like I was kind of touched on this earlier. Like I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm gonna be the star of the next Star Wars movie.
Why not?
But it would be nice.
You got to think big. Put it out there, maybe.
Oh, sure. I believe in The Secret, and I got a wall that I write all this stuff on. But what I think is a better route is this is my plan. They're going to do a clone trooper spinoff of Rebels. It's going to be a great series. Dave Filoni's involved, of course, the hero, and throw Dash as a side character to a couple of those. Get my Wikipedia updated. Get some more shit under canon other than that guy tweeting out that he did put me in as a joke.
Yeah.
And then what'll happen is, you saw with other games, Crash made a comeback, Spyro made a comeback.
Yep.
Let's get a revamp of Shadows of the Empire. Put all the brain power and time and money in it to make those first-person shooter levels kick ass with the flying levels kick ass, and then boom, the EA Star Wars license ends in like a year. we'll get another team in there, and we'll get a Shadows of the Empire 2 video game.
If you search for your name on Twitter, people are talking about you.
Yeah.
Some people have their name as you.
Oh yeah, man. People love me.
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
thing that's nice. When I go to the cons and stuff, my line to sign autographs is huge. You know,
Somebody
people love it.
Somebody wrote daydreaming about Dash Rendar fighting Kevin McAllister.
Oh, okay. That person's got some weird.
Is that is he from Home Alone?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of Star Wars Home Alone crossover, but I will tell you this. Lando has fooled around with the mom. What's her mom's name? Schitt's Creek.
Catherine O'Hara?
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara and Lando dated for a brief period.
Really?
In the late 80s, after when like the Ewok movies are coming out, no one's paying attention to what's happening in the Star Wars universe.
Do you know the Ewoks?
Yeah, you know the Ewoks. That's the thing.
They're my favorite.
I smuggled for 15, 20 years up there.
You smuggled an Ewok?
I know. Yeah, I worked with the Ewoks.
You smuggled one?
I've never smuggled an Ewok. I don't know what they would need. I can't imagine a situation where an Ewok would need to be smuggled into a thing. But I've worked for them, like they're like, we need new spearheads, and then I go and help them out. But I've worked with them all. I've never met Wicket, the famous one. He's the one that he really did a lot. He murdered a lot of the stormtroopers, and for good reason. They're bad. I mean, a lot of Ewoks. Worked with a lot of Wookiees, not just Chewbacca. That's the thing people got to remember too. The Wookiees are a whole
race.
It'd be like if people think Zach Braff is the only human, right? It's like, no, there's a lot of humans, right? Well, you just know the most about Zach Braff,
We gotta go soon, Dash. Is there anything else you want to tell the world or our fans or Disney if they're listening?
Well, who was that one that tweeted that thing about Kevin McAllister?
It was just some random person. I don't know.
That person needs. That's what we need. We need more social media.
I hope he
tweet about us, make memes, and I'm call me crazy. I would like the Luigi route where it's a lot of like drawn photos of him
sidekicking away.
Yeah, huge dongs, big fat ass, drawing those pictures. Because that's what the weird when you hit weird Twitter, that's where stuff starts getting fun. And so do a lot of that stuff. I got this red hair. That's the thing. Gingers, that's a popular thing.
Yeah.
Start working it in, and then if the internet pushes it, if the internet gets behind it, then they're going to be forced to bring it back. And so if the internet can start talking about Dash, I know they are, but if they do it a little more, then maybe I'll get my name in one of these cartoons. Maybe get a line or two. Maybe I'll be in Mandalorian. They haven't called yet, but Favreau, he's a friend. We worked together on Rudy, and so maybe at some point we can make this work, and that's all I want.
You and the rest of the Star Wars redheads should form up. Who else is there? Akbar? Admiral Akbar? No, not Bill.
Akbar. Bill Burr. He was on a Mandalorian episode. Yeah, that guy. That guy's angry, right? He's so mad that he's so goddamn rich and has everything.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I don't know what they call it. Red Squadron, and then it's all of us. Maybe it's even a comedy,
Red leader standing by. I'm red leader. No, I'm red leader. We just wrote it.
Yeah.
We just wrote it right there.
And he's in the corner like.
We just wrote the trailer, me and you.
Right there. So I mean, that would be fun. And like I said, I love what I got. God rarely gives with both hands, and I love the life I lead,
That's good.
But I don't want it to be done. I want another act. And Boba's getting another act right now.
Yeah.
Boba was dead in canon and in Legends.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him on my TV today. So
can't keep him down.
That's what I want.
Well, I hope it works. Before you do go, do you want to play a quick game? Want to play a quick game with me?
I would love to play a quick game with you.
Let's play a game of Wed, Bed, Dead, everybody. So, this is everybody's favorite game on a podcast. We got
Wed, Bed, and Dead.
I'm going to give you 3 video game characters. Tell me who you want to wed, who you want to bed, and who you want dead. All right. Sure. And I'll show you them on the screen here. This first one.
Oh, wow.
From the Devil May Cry series. We have Dante, who is a kind of like a hipster goth demon kid with crazy powers. He's like part devil in a way.
Now you said kid. What do we got? We got an age on this. No,
I'm sorry. He's definitely in his 20s probably.
Okay, cool. All right.
Or he's actually probably 700. I think he's like part devil.
Oh wow.
So he's got cool guns. He's got swords. Got a long red trench coat and the white hair. The white
I do like the
flowing
trench coat a lot.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's very I don't give a fuck. I'll shoot you, demon type of guy.
Yeah. Now, do I have to? Can I see? Do I get to see them all right first?
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic.
This next one, a little different, is from the
Dante. Is that fellow's name?
Yep.
Okay.
This one is from Donkey Country, Donkey Kong Country. We have
From
Dixie Kong, who is I believe I don't know if it's Donkey or Diddy's like cousin or sister, but she is the cool female monkey that wears a beret. She throws bananas. She does some cartwheels and stuff. And
French?
Is she French? Yeah, she might be.
Might be.
With
Ditsy?
Dixie, like Dixie cups.
Oh, like Dixie cups.
Yeah. And this next one, I swear it's random, and one of our biggest fans, Mike Hawes, is going to tell me that it's not because he just told me recently in a private message that all he wants to do is bed this one. It's Cammy, everybody. Cammy from Street Fighter 2, I think, was her first appearance.
Now, see, who drew this? Whoever drew that, whatever you call that, V down there where her legs meet, that thigh gap.
Yep.
Oh, whoever drew this, draw a sexy Dash Rendar. That's
okay. So you want some sexy pictures of yourself?
I want to, because if the internet starts seeing those, then it'll become a hot thing.
It's got to be out there.
What's her name?
Cammy. She's got the brass knuckles. She can kick. She's got the flips, and she's got the tiny green outfit. And she's also got a beret.
She also has a beret. What do you mean by breast knuckles? What are breast knuckles?
No, brass knuckles.
Oh, on her fingers. Okay.
Like Georgie Animal Steel back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought you meant her tits had some sort of a knuckle in them.
They might. I don't know.
So how did you pick these three?
Dante. Oh, this is all random. I have a big list. This is all just random before the show.
It's random that 2 of them had D names and 2 of them have berets. That's why.
Yes, it is actually. Out of 303 names, yes.
Cammy's got berets and braids. That's a look you don't see all that often.
Yeah, and she got the long, long hair.
Can I say Dixie one more time? Does Dixie got braids or does she just got the pony?
She's got a little ponytail.
Donkey tail.
You think Giant Ape's called a ponytail? What do you think?
They probably call it a donkey tail. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a jetpack she's got as well?
She's got like a coconut pack. A coconut jetpack, yeah. She can kind of fly and hover with that thing.
That's exciting.
So,
okay, so wed, bed, and dead, right?
Wed, bed, dead, yeah.
All right. Well,
it's tough choices.
I don't know. Dante's dead because Dante's from hell.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? It feels like he's got to be from hell.
Kinda.
And so I feel like he's not. It doesn't matter. He's dead.
I'm not sure if he's the devil. I think he's more of like a demon.
But he's very hellish. Yeah. So I feel like if he's in hell, I could still fuck around with him if I wanted to.
Okay.
I'm going to wed Dixie.
Hey.
Because I like the jetpack idea. And
you have one,
like
right? Yeah.
Mine and her, we could go fly around, go be like, oh, look, that's where the towers used to be, and when we're flying around Manhattan. And
I got it.
Yeah. And I will then, of course, I'm going to bed Cammy because of those huge knockers and the
breast knuckles.
Yeah, the breast knuckles and the big old thighs. She's cute. I'm not I'm not a blonde guy. Us gingers like gingers. That's what they say. But they do say that, by the way. Okay. But yeah, I'll bet her, because I don't want to date her, though. I don't want to deal with what it's like to get my ass fucking handed to me all the time.
Yeah, it's a good point.
She could beat the shit out of me without anything, without any. I have a gun. I got a laser. She's got her fists.
Yeah, she could probably block. I feel like she could like twist and block it through you, and then like kind of boom, hit you in the face and knock you out.
Knock me for a goddamn loop.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, sure. I'll throw it at her once or twice.
Okay, so. Great choices. This is tough, because like
I think it is too. The only thing I'm going to be honest, I'm a little unclear on Dixie, because she looks like she might be dumb.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that. I don't know her. I've never met her.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it looks like they drew her like the way a stereotype of a dumb lady in the 90s would have drawn her. And so I'm hoping that she's a full-fledged character with like dreams and aspirations.
I assume so. I mean, she does go on adventures with Donkey, and she can hold her own.
Okay, good.
But
she's just blonde, and you got anything made in the 90s, you're untrustworthy. Any actress from the 90s who I don't see and stuff anymore, I'm like, Weinstein tried to fuck them, and that didn't work out, and now they're ruined. Yeah. And I just fear for them all.
Blonde Monkey is weird too. Yeah. I think you're right, though. The easiest choice is probably to bed Cammy, right?
Yeah, why not?
But, okay, Hold on.
Dante would be fun, but I mean,
I'm gonna wed Cammy here.
okay.
Having that fighter around all the time, I always say I would like to get trained myself. She's got a cool like corkscrew kick. She's got like a breast knuckle backhand punch. I want to learn how to do that. I think it'd be kind of cool. Plus, she travels a lot. I can go with her.
Yeah.
She makes good money from her fights. You know,
financially, it's a good choice.
Yeah. So I will wed her because I don't think Dante or Dixie have any money at all. Dixie may have.
And then of course the rocking cans.
Yes, of course. I will wed. I'm sorry. I will bed Dante. He can kind of turn into different creatures, and that might be interesting for a few minutes.
Bury the lead.
Well, sorry, we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you: can he turn into a blonde monkey?
I think he's got like wings. You know what I mean? He can like fly. Yeah. So let's bed him for a night. Plus, he's vampires are very sexual and sensual anyway.
Oh yeah, they're horny as hell.
Yeah. So he's not a vampire, but close enough. People, get off my back.
He's a demon.
And sorry though, but I'll have to dead Dixie here.
Yeah.
Which I think she's cool and fun, but in these choices, she's kind of got to go. I like bananas, but that's about it. That's where
I think those are good answers. I think literally my Dante reasoning. Not that I would have no problem throwing it up that guy, but since he's a demon, I feel like he can be dead, and I can still bed him anytime I want.
Oh, maybe
that's what I'm saying. So it's like kill two birds with one stone. Whereas if Cammy's dead, she's just dead.
Yeah, that's frowned upon.
Yeah, you can't do necrophilia.
No, Dante, you are basically.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Any last words? You're not dying, but anything else you want to tell people?
I've been reading a lot about this fella, Jesus Christ, and I feel like no, I got nothing.
Okay, that's good, Dash.
Yeah, it wouldn't be funny. I just think it's I like to do bits. Me and Lebo always run around the house do bits.
You're funny. You're energetic.
I'm trying. You got to pivot in this climate. You've got to pivot. And I was a smuggler. I was a mercenary. I was the son of a rich family. You know. Yeah. And then the emperor came in and murdered my parents, and nobody talked about it either.
It's always the fucking emperor.
Yeah.
Always the emperor.
Yeah. And then once we finally get rid of him, guess what? He's back. Who cares?
Ridiculous.
Who gives a shit?
Right? Hey, thanks for joining us today. This has been great. I mean, it was
very fun. Thanks for having me.
Really a pleasure having you, Dash. And
it was very great to be on the show, Brian. Tell Calvin, send him my love. Go ahead.
Yep.
I can't wait to see some more of your Ninja Turtle toy videos.
They're coming. I have like 12 left or something like that. They're coming.
Oh God!
I'll do all 12 at once, right?
Yeah, drop them all at once. Make sure that the editing is exactly the same, but then also your voice will get louder and softer.
Yeah, sometimes I lose my mind.
I don't actually know if that happens. That might be false criticism. I just think it's fun. But yeah, so thanks for having me. It was been fun to do the show. Listeners, tweet about Dash Rendar.
Yeah, they are. People do it. Dash, thanks for joining us. And everybody else, thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Today's playable character was played by Patrick Hastie. Check him out on Twitter at Patrick Hastie and his podcast, The Nostalgic Front, at Nostalgic Front. And check out his EP on Bandcamp called Probably Forever.